Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I have here an article coming from Russia Today featuring Zelensky's statement. And Zelensky's statement is very strange. Very strange. I will share it with you in a minute, but I would like to claim that it is possible, you may say no, but it is possible, or would it be possible for Zelensky to end up in Russia and not in New York or in London? Let me show you the article. Russia Today is from the June 11th, 2025. Zelensky refuses talks on territory with anyone except Putin. Why? Is it because he has something to tell Putin directly? Is it because he wants to put up a clown show? Is it because by that he will elevate his legitimacy? Because remember, the Russians don't consider him to be the legitimate president of Ukraine at this point. What if Zelensky agrees to give territory, or it's not up to him, but let's say he agrees to Putin, you know what, okay, I will give you this part of Ukraine. Do you think that Zelensky will survive in Ukraine? Do you think the Ukrainians or the guys in charge of some battalions over there would just let him be? Maybe he's going to be an emigre to Russia, to the Kremlin. Let's read what this guy says. Kiev's delegation in Istanbul is authorized to discuss humanitarian issues and ceasefire terms, the Ukrainian leader says. You understand that? So those two meetings in Istanbul were not about peace. They were humanitarian and no ceasefire terms. Some temporary, patch-up thing. He's the only one, right, meow meow? Right? The cat is here. What's a meow meow? What's a meow meow? Come over here. Up here. So, let's read further. Ukraine's Vladimir Zelensky. Thank you. Did you hear me? Are these guys listening to me now? Because they keep saying Ukrainian President Zelensky. And I said, why do you call him that way all the time? Ukrainian. You want to build his legitimacy like he's Ukrainian or something? Ukraine's Vladimir Zelensky, that's great, thank you very much, Russia Today, has said he will only discuss territorial issues with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Maybe just to, Ukraine Zelensky didn't put the president over there, but they put the president for Putin. In an interview with Hungarian outlet Putin ONLY, released on Tuesday, Zelensky said the Ukrainian delegation at the talks in Istanbul is not authorized to negotiate territorial issues with the Russian side. Of course it's not. And I'm quoting, our memorandum is a basis for negotiations. Based on it, our delegation has a mandate to discuss humanitarian issues or the ceasefire. Again, now he's Ukrainian again. Ukrainian leader. Not president, but he's still Ukrainian. You didn't do your homework, Russia Today. And I'm quoting, what they do not have a mandate for is to discuss the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine. Correct. And I'm quoting, this is our own constitutional matter, he said. Well, constitution, by the Russian interpretation of your constitution, you're not the president. And I'm quoting, it is my job to have a dialogue about territories. Yeah, but you are not Ukrainian. How can you do that? And Putin, who stole them, I will not discuss my position on this with anyone else. Okay. Good. Now, I think that he's playing a good card here. He has only win-win situations. Putin will not meet Zelensky one-on-one as president. If Putin meets that, I'm gonna, no, I hope he doesn't. Not because Zelensky is not the legitimate or is the legitimate, but remember that guy Zelensky, with his backers, did not have good intentions for Putin personally. Now you can say, well, it's always nice to face your vanquished guy, and Putin might do that. But keep in mind, that thug behaved with Trump, if you ignore Trump and use only the office of the president of the United States of America, which he disrespected while in the Oval Office, that's my interpretation of what thuggish behavior he had over there, including the attire he showed up. Then if he dares to talk like that with the guy who potentially can plug it out, plug it in, plug it out, whenever he wanted, you talk like that with the hand that feeds you, how do you think Zelensky will talk to Putin? I don't think Putin will, and I hope he doesn't give this thug the chance to have a direct interaction, even if, because you can't have a direct, normal, civilized interaction with that baboon, unless you suck his little TDD, then yes. Otherwise, no, you can't. You can't. I saw him talking, I saw him interacting, his behaviors, his demeanor. Yeah, he's an actor, that's what he is. But no, he's not going to talk decent to Russia. He's going to probably accuse, personal insults, all those things, and all those little signs. So he's going to talk, I'm going to talk only with Putin. Like it is my country. I have the mandate. Okay, you have the mandate. Maybe these guys were spoken. Maybe if he does that and he says, okay, Russia, you can keep that and that, when he returns to Kiev, the so-called nationalists will just hang him upside down like they did to Mussolini after the Second World War in Piazza di Milano, remember? With his mistress over there, hanging downstairs, upside down. So probably he will just go to Moscow and ask for political asylum, please. We'll see, my friends, we'll see. He wants to meet Putin and Trump. I'm talking about Zelensky. He thinks that he's a big leader here, really. And he should think that way, or he should play that card, because he was invited right as the war started in Ukraine. The war when the Russians entered, and it was 2022, remember, not 2014, when everybody rolled the red carpet for this imbecile. The orders were given to the chancelleries in Europe, and not only, to allow this guy to pretend that he's an important guy. He's not. He is because other people let him be. Other people pushed him up, made him to be like that. He's the same clown that you can find videos on YouTube as a comedian. That's Zelensky. Not this. This is not Zelensky. This is just the character that he plays. That's what he is. He's a short, unsecured guy. All right. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I hope they don't meet. If they meet, I think Zelensky is going to create a scene, and then Putin is going to be like, oh, maybe the world should see the scene. The problem is, the media is going to give its spin like somehow Putin did something, provoked. You understand, Zelensky style, all these past generations, the Russians over the, you know what I mean, and all that's going to be brought back like the hologram from the Second World War. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.